vote based off the establishment a lot of times. And I
Yeah,
think
we saw
Nancy
that
Pelosi
with
endorsing
yeah,
to
we saw that with Biden.
Rashida is definitely a big push.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that
But yeah,
is
with
a
Biden, yeah.
yeah, that is a bit. I'm trying to get some of the results for some of these like prosecutorial races
Oh,
up
okay.
as
So
well.
Clay is 14% right now,
Who?
and he's Lacey up in
Oh,
Missouri
so things
first.
just
He 14% reporting, and he's up right now by
the
right
lead.
17%.
Yeah, the lead narrowed a little bit with
Yeah,
14% reporting. Actually, quite a
yeah.
bit, like 38 points. I think
See,
plus
I actually
plus
thought
eight for.
that Bush would be like coming out of the gates good because this is like a lot of this is early voting, like the first couple of them. Now it's probably starting to get some of the machine vote, but
Yeah, 102 of 729 precincts reporting, and this is a big district. Wow, like it's like it
yeah,
seems like it's a lot of people. Like I saw like 20,000 votes in, or like the votes that I saw in already. I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to be bad already? But it was like less than 1% reporting. Wow. Also, another interesting thing we see 46% reporting right now about the Medicaid expansion amendment.
yeah.
51.2
That's big.
to 48.8 yes is leading. So I think that's a very, very important kind of thing that shows you because just recently in Oklahoma, Medicaid expansion won. And what do you think about the success of Medicaid expansion? And what does that say for kind of candidate based politics in the future?
Well, I would definitely advocate for Medicaid expansion. Medicaid, I mean, up in Maine, for example, the wacko, what's his name, Paul LePage, who, by the way, actually is running again in 2022 against Janet Mills.
Mm-hmm.
They had a big Medicaid problem up there where he was refusing after this is like, it's a very weird state because the Senate and the House in Maine are both controlled by Democrats, and they were every year they would put up a bill for Medicaid expansion. And that was actually the first bill they put up. That's when Paul LePage is infamous. He called up the one of the House leaders, not House leaders, House members, excuse me,
Didn't he say
and like he
something
left
like
a
incredibly?
vulgar message.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
very like he was like, "Oh, you socialist scumbag." Like he was very left a vulgar message about it, and every year they've been trying to do it, and like Janet Mills campaigned on it, and she finally got that passed. That's probably part of the reason why Maine actually, a lot of Mainers are doing much better than they would have if not Sean Mills, I forgot his last,
Republican governor.
Sean, the other guy, won that race because he was adamantly against Medicaid expansion, as was Paul LePage, and Medicaid expansion definitely isn't a bad method to do because in many states like Maine, like Florida, like Georgia, like North Carolina, Washington, North Carolina is starting to do a pretty good job. I mean, that guy, Roy Cooper, I kind of feel bad. He's like his hands are tied behind his back, but he's trying his best. But Medicaid expansion definitely is not a bad thing to run on because it really is delivering better health insurance to the people who need it most. I mean, many states that don't have Medicaid expansion have high amounts of medical bankruptcy. They have a large amount of people who go to hospitals and they can't afford the health costs, so they'll refuse the care, which is why many states like Florida and Georgia that are infamously known to not have proper Medicaid expansion or even unemployment to get that out of the way as well, have a lot of problems, especially in the sense of delivering for the people who can't afford to actually pay for something that everyone should be able to have, which is healthcare. Everyone deserves healthcare. Medicaid expansion definitely is not a bad thing to be running on because it really shows that you're actually interested in helping with the people. And it really is a popular thing. I mean, if it wins in Missouri, that's definitely going to certify and bolden the opinion I'm making right now is that it's a popular thing to have Medicaid expansion. And Missouri is probably the last state I'd ever think of that would actually be going out of its way to expand Medicaid just because it's a very conservative state. And right now, actually, it got a little tighter. Right now, the difference between yes and no is by 0.8% with 50%
Wow.
reporting. So
Yeah,
hopefully
I mean, I really
think
think like this, like having this stuff in there is going to choose like so many different people, like it really influence so many people's lives. I think in a big, big way. So, yeah, we're looking at some of that. I'm trying to get up the prosecutorial races because they're, especially in the wake of some of the protests that we've seen with Black Lives Matter and defunding the police and all that stuff. The reforming the criminal justice system, that is going to take prosecutors in big cities, and a lot of radical prosecutors, especially on the left, are running kind of in the mold of people we saw last cycle, like Larry Krasner in Philadelphia, And if we could just pull up this kind of prosecutorial map, and I'm really having, I do apologize, I'm having some trouble finding it at the moment, but I don't know why they're giving me the prosecutorial race, but I do apologize, but yeah, Kim Gardner, very, very polarizing person here that we've seen from Missouri. So she's been on the pretty much sustained fire from the police union for 4 years. So when Kim Gardner and Mary Pat Carl had first faced off in 2016 to be the chief prosecutor in St. Louis, Carl had endorsements from the retiring incumbent and the local police union. But Gardner, whose platform echoed some of the Black Lives Matter movement's demands, just 2 years after the nearby Ferguson protests, won by a large margin, becoming the city's first black circuit attorney. So it's 2016. The terrain really has shifted significantly since 2016. Kim Gardner, probably one of the more endangered people out there. So Gardner faces a rematch against Carl in the August 4th Democratic primary, but their contest is playing out in a very different terrain. Nationwide political shifts toward criminal justice reform had emboldened activists to expect more from Gardner and have pushed Carl to soften her language compared to 2016. So still, people have, I think, much more in terms of public opinion, especially in a hotbed of police protests like Ferguson. We saw, I think, which really me so proud to be a supporter of someone like Cori Bush. Like the Ferguson protesters, and especially the Ferguson protest leaders, a lot of them have been killed. A lot of them have been shot, like their cars have been burnt out, like in just really horrific acts of violence. Like it's really insane that it's also like that it's happened, and B, that also no one's talking about it. So like seeing those kind of things and seeing such a recent history of racial violence, racial like antagonism in the area, and seeing someone like Cori Bush run, and also seeing a fellow black Democrat leader in the Congressional Black Caucus coming out and saying about a top Ferguson protester who led a huge change in the movement before it was even cool, especially before it was even popular in the wake of George Floyd and everything, to see someone like William Lacey Clay come out and say that about Cori Bush, like, oh, I don't think pretty much trying to convey that she does not have the experience necessary to be a congressional representative, when I think she's had some very, very good, very, very valuable experience, like protest organizers, social movement organizers, people who know how to get a group of people together. I think like they're invaluable to have in Congress, especially when you're able to get them around in kind of a political cause. But Kim Gardner, I think, much of the same way. She has really made local activists kind of view this race as a referendum on the fierce pushback that Gardner's faced since she took office. The primary, which will most likely decide the election in this Democratic city, may be an early window into whether this sort of pushback will prove successful in other jurisdictions where reform-minded prosecutors soon face re-election. So there's been a lot of reform prosecutors who have been elected, especially in the last 2 years. Last 4 years as well. Kim Gardner was elected in 2016. They're coming up for re-election in soon. What do you make of this wave of prosecutorial leftists, I guess you could say, from Larry Klausner to Kim Gardner, all these people getting in power and trying to change things in these big cities across the country?
I think it just shows the change of opinion that many people are having. I many times don't support these type of people. Like, for example, when I think it was last year in Queens, they had Tiffany Caban against Melinda Katz. Yeah. Well, usually the main reason why. I just wanted to bring this up quickly because I just saw this pop up. I'm going to get back to the question after. So Carolyn Maloney and Richie Torres have won their primary battles. It's official.
Carolyn Maloney and Richie Torres has. Okay, that's interesting.
Just wanted to put that out there.
So
and then also,
Suraj Patel did not make it across. He was kind of the more he was challenging, and Richie Torres did beat the guy, I forget his name. Ruben Diaz.
Oh, Ruben,
Diaz.
Yeah. Ruben,
it was a big one as well. But yeah, Ruben Diaz. A lot of people worried about him because he was like a pro-Trump Democrat, like who said some homophobic remarks in the past, but he did not win. As you can see, just want to take a moment to like give people a little bit of behind-the-scenes look here, because I am currently, if you are unaware, we obviously just had the storm come in. Isaias or whatever.
Isaias.
Okay. Yeah, so we had Isaias come in through, and we are actually currently, I don't know what the situation is with you, James. We are, like, right now, I'll tell you, my uncle, he was actually able to hitch up a car battery to the internet and then connect the internet to a surge protector and then wire an extension cord up here so I could pretty much charge my computer and come on and be able to do this broadcast tonight. So pretty much the entire on-air status of the Spencer Ultra Radio Network is being held up by a car battery at the moment. So it's a very, very volatile situation. And of course, I am broadcasting in the complete dark right now. So hopefully the lights will come back on like sometime during the show, but I doubt it. But I just want to take that moment to say hopefully everyone's doing okay out there with the power outages all up and down the East Coast in the wake of this little hurricane here. So yeah, James, what's your situation like? Is everything good with you? Or?
Yeah, we just had a lot of light flickering today, but I have full power.
That's good.
There's some people, though, who are around me. When I look at my window, I can see that they don't have power. So
yeah,
there are definitely like spotty areas around here that don't have power. Also, I just wanted to bring this up. Steve Watkins from Kansas, the man who was obliterated with controversy, he lost his primary to the Kansas State Treasurer, Jake LaTurner, and by a pretty large margin as well, by 10,000 votes.
I did notice. Yeah, I did notice that they had. I did notice they had a voting fraud. It was voter fraud, right?
Yeah, that, and then he also had like the thing with it. He was trying to like almost like the thing that you guys were trying to tech angle with Alaska, but like this was bad what he was doing. Like he was trying to get like the money from Alaska. Like Alaska has a fund where if you're considered a permanent resident, you can get yearly. I think it's monthly or yearly payments.
Oh, the oil UBI, right? Yeah. Andrew Yang was talking about that a lot. Yeah.
And he was trying to like he has a house in Alaska, and part of the controversy is that because he tried to do that 11 times to make it his primary residence, 11, and he was rejected all the times. People were saying, well, is this guy like coming to Kansas or is he going to Alaska? Like, where is this guy representing?
Yeah. Like if he wants to get the UBI money, he should go run in Alaska. Yeah. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. So. We are also kind of looking at some of the latest in terms of other primaries that are definitely worth watching. And over the Republican emergence from this kind of contest in the 3rd Congressional District is going to take on Sharice Davids, a Democrat who flipped the seat in 2018. She's, I think, pretty progressive. I'm not entirely sure, but Amanda Adkins is going to be doing that. So that's a little bit of an update there. Really want to get a little bit of an update on some of these prosecutorial races, which is it's pissing me off that I'm not able to. I'm checking the Secretary of State website and everything, but I don't know. So yeah, just to give you a little bit more background about Kim Gardner here. So she also, a big thing she did was she angered the powerful police union in St. Louis, saying she repeatedly tried to hold officers more accountable. She is, again, of course, an African American woman as well, so that I think that plays a role as well. She also indicted the sitting governor, Eric Greitens, a rising star in Republican national politics. Her adversaries have now turned the tables as Gardner's professional actions are being scrutinized in a manner that is virtually unheard of for an elected prosecutor. In the Greitens case, she's become a focus of a special prosecutor appointed to investigate a former FBI agent. The prosecutor has had her office's email server seized by the police, giving them access, her lawyers say, to active criminal investigations of the department itself. So pretty much really going in some investigative ways that are incredibly aggressive. He has been fishing for incriminating information on her administration, according to an affidavit by the agent's lawyer. Her aides have been called before a grand jury. Really intense stuff. The investigation has been conducted in secrecy with a gag order on the parties involved, but that has not stopped allegations that it is riddled with serious conflicts of interest, nor has it stifled dissent among Gardner's supporters. The police and the city's clubby legal establishment have joined forces in an attempt to embarrass from the few black officials with truly independent power in St. Louis. So, yeah, it really seems like she is facing a lot of the establishment here. And I promise you, do my best to get a sense of how she is doing at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, I really, have you followed this face at all? And what do you think about it?
No, I haven't even heard of her. Gardner? No, I haven't heard. The only Gardner I know is from Colorado. I know that's not the one you're talking about. No, I haven't heard of this race.
Yeah.
Is this in Michigan?
This is a St. Louis prosecutorial race.
Oh, St. Louis. Oh.
Which I really think it's a big deal.
I was reading that there's one in Michigan that's kind of big. I was reading tonight.
Where is that exactly?